Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to 2-Minute Drill, the first pitch-only show that features entrepreneurs from all walks of life, competing each week for a mix of cash and prizes. Hosted by legendary entrepreneur, sports executive, and investor, David Meltzer. Contestants have just 2 minutes to deliver their most convincing pitch ever. Who will fold under the pressure?
Dude, maybe you need to go get some therapy. I don't think anyone's gonna work for you.
And who will thrive?
I thought your pitch was outstanding.
After the pitches are complete, the judges will deliberate to decide our champion.
You need to, in my opinion, figure out how you can niche down so crazy small that it's perfect.
Will they rise to the occasion?
So we just missed that heart inside the pitch. It would change everything.
Will they blow away the judges?
I thought your pitch was amazing, and every step of the way you were hitting it. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm going check.
I love how concise you were about the value. It saves money and it saves time.
Will they be crowned champion?
Your 2 minutes starts now.
David Meltzer hosts 2-Minute Drill.
With all of our friends, family, colleagues, anybody we know would benefit from this incredible conversation. Get your questions ready, because after David teaches us the lessons we should teach our children, we will open it up for Q&A. So if you're joining us online, make sure to put those questions in the chat. And if you're live here on Clubhouse, make sure to request to join the stage if you're in the audience. And if you're on stage, just put a quick note in the chat and I'll be happy to pass the microphone over your way. And just as a quick review, we are coming to you live from Viva Las Vegas as we are wrapping up today the first half of filming for Office Hours Apple TV show season number 7. We had an incredible VIP dinner last night with Erwin McManus and Sharon Lecter and Marie Diamond. The list goes on and on and on. And in terms of where we are going to be coming up, next week, we are coming back to Viva Las Vegas to conclude the filming of season 7 on Tuesday and Wednesday, hosting a VIP dinner on Tuesday night, before then heading over to New York City for our UFC 309 Mastermind and VIP dinner next Friday night, the 15th. And then, of course, we will be back in Orange County later this month on the 20th for a Thanksgiving Mastermind and VIP dinner. So we would love to invite everybody that's joining us both online and live here on Clubhouse, not only to join this community virtually, but of course in person as well. So for these upcoming cities and events, whether it's a meetup, a VIP dinner, a mastermind, please reach out to David directly so you can join us, david@dmeltzer.com. But most importantly, join the text community. David and I need it more than anybody because it reminds us on where we're going to be. And that's just 949-298-2905. And both of those can be found in the room chat. So without further ado, it's always a pleasure and honor to be here with you, David. And I officially turn it over to you to guide us through the first half of the training for what the lessons we should teach our children.
The amazing Nick of WOM. Thank you so much, my brother. Lessons are what life's about, and they keep coming until we learn them. And I put in a lot of thought for not only my children, but for other children. What key lessons would I want them to learn so they can do their best? They can learn these lessons, but also have fun. And we don't want to lose our ability for any of those three of doing our best, which is the common denominator of all success, is doing your best. It's the common denominator of all great people, that they have a desire that they must be what they can be, which determines why they do their best in a committed, consistent way. To learn lessons takes some skill, and to have the light, the love, and the lessons, to have fun in everything that we do. And if you want this guide, the Lessons to Teach Our Children guide, and exercises, just email me at any time and we'll send it out. David@dmeltzer.com. We're blessed to be here. Thank you, everyone. All right, time to get started. Through these lessons, I'll share insights on trusting the process, the importance of gratitude, the ability to find the light, the love, and the lessons, and the power of our words to shape our reality. We'll also dive deep into finding fulfillment within, a foundation for true and lasting success, to maintain and sustain that desire that you must be what you can be, to have the commitment to do things non-negotiably every single day. Because it is not the mistakes that teach us the lessons that make us fail. It is the lack of commitment that only makes us failures. This guide is designed to equip you and all children with the mindset, resilience, and inner strength to overcome those challenges, to not lack the commitment and consistent, persistent pursuit, building meaningful relationships, and creating a fulfilling life. And so let's talk about some of these transformational principles that we can teach our children and other people's children in order to facilitate that desire. The first lesson that I'd love to share is the power of silence. The fewer words you use, the more impactful they become. In a world full of noise, social silos, chaos, true wisdom often comes from thoughtful, concise communication. And it is not only the wisdom and faith that shortens this distance, but it's the clarity, balance, and focus in our communications, in the frequency in which we communicate. As Erwin McManus was with us yesterday, talking about the 7 frequencies of communication, to be concise, knowing that we want to speak and listen to and for and through each other in order to be inspired in spirit, to carry the commitment and consistent, persistent pursuit of our own potential, of what we want, not what other people want, not what's missing, and not what we don't have. There's examples of mentorship, coaching, and teaching to utilize the power of silence. A coach makes one powerful statement that could shift the outcome of a game. A parent makes one powerful statement that could shift a child's life. A teacher makes one powerful statement that shifts the outcome of someone's life. And so we must understand that it is the concise communication, the frequency of our communication, that is impactful and resonates most. And understanding the idea of resonation, meaning that it is what we agree with or disagree with most. When we impact others, when we create a catalytic effect in a relationship, in concise communication, it's our ability to have someone agree with us strongly or disagree with us strongly. Both are forms of intuition, utilizing the intelligence and the inspiration in order to have a impact, a visceral response to create movement, action in a divine direction, to create a divine detour for someone in order to progress, to protect, to perfect, to be able to utilize that impactful statement to allow for patience, divine time, knowing that the only speed of progress is not fast enough. And that if we can help our children utilize that divine direction with divine detours and allowing for divine time, the power of silence, the fewer words we can use, the more impactful they become. With all the noise out there, with all the ambient sounds and social media, TV, audio, whatever it may be, we need to pierce through all the noise with clear, impactful lessons, and to be able to teach those as a mentor to guide people to where they want to be in a position that we are in. There's only two ways that we can help our children get to where they want to be. Either give them directions to where we are, or to actually suggest and ask them to give us directions of where they're at so that we can meet in a mindful space, an impactful direction to improve, progress into that perfection that we are all a part of. The power of silence is extremely important, not just in the facilitation of listening, but into concise communication, a directive of frequency in order to impact. Remember, especially with children, that we may just be planting seeds. I remember when I met the amazing Dennis Waitley, and he was teaching sales, and I was an ignorant 25-year-old, a top salesman for my company, and I was very resistant to the lessons that he was teaching about solution selling, about finding out what other people like and don't like, and providing value in that direction by giving more of what I liked and of what they liked, and taking away what some, if not all, of what they didn't like. And he was getting frustrated with my lack of silence. And I remember him telling me, "Don't worry, son." He said, "I'm just planting a seed under a tree that I may never sit under." But he was still creating that seed and planting it in me so that someday when I was ready, I would understand and know the lesson that he was teaching in his impactful way. And so the number one lesson that we want to teach is the power of silence to our children. The second lesson is extremely valuable. It's the biggest energy gap that exists today between teaching our children who they are, who they truly are, the I am, versus who I want people to think I am. It's called the freedom of external validation. No more FOPO, the fear of other people's opinion. We need to help them transform the FOPO into JOPO, the joy of other people's opinion, the appreciation of other people's opinion, understanding that all people and their opinions are nothing but an ignorant statement, either to help us or to hinder us. And in that ignorance, there is either an ignorant arrogance to create resistance from fear of what we want for other people or our children, or there's an ignorant humility of just, I don't know what I don't know. What others think of you does not define you. What other people think of you is actually none of your business. The freedom from external validation is a common denominator of all successful people with the desire that they must be what they can be. And that energy gap between I am and this is what I want people to think I am will define how quickly we learn. And if we teach the children the importance of an inner confidence created by practice and staying true to their own values of what they want, not what other people want, not what's missing, not what they don't have, rather than seeking every day in person, on the phone, via email and media, traditional and social, seeking approval, the FOPO, the FOPO, fear of other people's opinion, and understanding the importance of that inner confidence, and understanding the voices within that we can't hear, see, say, do, think, or feel, or believe outside of us what we don't do, say, think, feel, and believe what's inside of us. It's that inner voice, that inner child that will determine for the rest of our lives that inner confidence. And we need to teach our children to practice consciously, only thinking those positive, directive, divine detours in divine time to get to where we want to be, but also to recognize the subconscious inner voice that can deter and interfere with the inner confidence that's created by practice, notating that the subconscious is a repetitive force. What thoughts, words, feelings, and beliefs exist in your subconscious will be repetitive, and 80% or more are negative. That is why most people overthink only negative things. We never overthink the positive things. And it is a logic that can't overcome. It is not. It is the actions that are determined by our conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind, the conscious continuum that creates this inner confidence and establishes our values, the practices to reinforce and expand, aggregate, accelerate, and exponentially create an acceleration of success and not seek what other people want for us. Athletes who push through criticism to achieve goals have always historically done the best because, once again, they don't lack a commitment because they're driven by a greater purpose to overcome their pain. Because it is their purpose that needs to be greater than their pain to make sure they don't lack the commitment to get to where they want to be or better. And it is that chip sometimes on a child's shoulder that will give him or her the purpose greater than the pain to get to where they want to be or better, and to silence the external validation to be a pleaser, instead to know I am, not this is what I want people to think I am. And in the context of ignorance, knowing that there's only two types of people in the world: ignorant people that don't know what they don't know, and ignorant people that don't know what they don't know. The differentiator between the two types of ignorant people: one, the ignorant, arrogant people, and there's two types of those. Ignorant, arrogant people, they don't know what they don't know, but they lie and pretend like they do as an expert. And some people do it out of obvious arrogance, and they just say stupid shit to you in person, on the phone, via email and social media, with different levels of courage because they are hiding behind some modality of communication. But the true danger is not the people that create the ignorant, arrogant faux pas, but it is the people who love us the most. It's the ignorant, arrogant people that love us the most, that know they don't know what they don't know, but they love us so much that they pretend that they're an expert in that subject matter, topic, or expertise. They pretend like they know what they know. And out of love, they give us advice out of fear, only to create more interference and to send us further into a trajectory of where we don't want to be. Look for the ignorant, humble, the ones who admit, I don't know what I don't know, but here's what I've experienced. Here's some suggestions and questions to help you determine internally the validation that you need, not to force some external validation objective to move you, accelerate you in the wrong direction, or to interfere with who you want to be or better, instead of focusing in on what's missing, what you don't have, or even worse, other people's opinion. The second lesson we need to teach our children to have the desire that they must be what they can be. The only common denominator of all passionate, purposeful, and profitable people that I know, that desire that you must be what you can be, is freedom from external validation. The third lesson: focus in on the possibilities, not the problems. I think we saw this within the context of a divisive election of two different ideals that were perceptive and completely opposite. Dividing our country by focusing in on the problems, not the possibilities. And now that we're past that point of divisive mindset, I suggest that we focus in on the possibilities. I got a lot of feedback about a statement I made previous to the election that my focus was on the possibilities of no matter who won, how I was going to be better off. Because historically, no matter who has won, I have been better off. Because I don't focus in on the problems. I don't focus in on what I don't want and what's missing. I focus in on what I do want, where I do want to be or better, or where I think I want to be or better, keeping an open mind, an open heart, and an open hand by doing my best, learning lessons and having fun the same way I want my children to do their best, learn lessons and have fun, and focus in on the possibilities, not the problems. Because I promise you, if you wish for or focus in on what you don't want, you are going to get what you don't want. And worrying, which was all abound and still is, worrying is a duplicative negative. Worrying is not only interfering with where you want to be or better, or where you think you want to be or better. Worrying is wishing for what you don't want. And if anyone doesn't believe me, just remember back when you were worried about something happening and you were guaranteeing it would, especially a problem on a test. The more I focused in on, oh, I hope the rules of perpetuity isn't on the bar exam. I hope the rules of perpetuity aren't on my trust and estate exam. I was guaranteeing what actually occurred, which was the first question on the exam was the rules of perpetuity. Focusing in on the problem brings more problems. It brings energy to the problems. Focusing in on possibilities opens up opportunities, options, and touches of favor. Let's help children shift from obstacles, interference, to solutions. Let's foster a growth mindset of possibilities, probabilities, sharing a new perspective through prioritization of what's important to them, not what's important to other people. And fostering these options, opportunities, and touches of favor, prioritizing what's important to them will be the antidote to feeling overwhelmed and procrastinating, not taking action. And we know the only way that we can grow is to practice taking action. Sports teams that stay focused on winning despite the challenges win. People ask me all the time, how is it that the Kansas City Chiefs are 8-0 after winning 2 Super Bowls in a row? Because they certainly aren't playing well. They certainly aren't talent-wise the best team. Because sports teams that stay focused in on winning despite the challenges win. And understanding that they spend only minutes and moments in bad calls. They spend minutes and moments worrying about injuries. They spend minutes and moments worrying about the weather, minutes and moments in these obstacles, in these interferences. Pat Mahomes and his crew, who I don't particularly root for, I have other interests with other teams, has my utmost respect. And I utilize him, as you can see, as an example of someone who focuses in on the possibilities, probabilities, and has the right perspective to not focus in on or worry about the problems. We must teach our children to focus in on possibilities, probabilities, to have a perspective that is ease, not dis-ease. The next lesson to teach our children is that pain is an indicator we have a better place to be, a better position to be in, a better situation to be in, that struggle is a catalyst for growth. That beyond the wisdom that it takes in order to facilitate the struggle or pain that exists as an indicator of where we want to be or better, we must have faith that we are protected, promoted, and loved, and perfected. Struggles often lead to a positive change. It, in my opinion, is not just the struggle, it's actually the pain. I think that struggle is a choice. Pain is not. Pain is omniscient. It's all present, the same as love. But its struggle is the meaning that we give it. And so we can only spend minutes and moments struggling, as pain is indicating to us that we have a better place to be, a better position to be in, a better situation to live with. We can view hardship as an essential for progress. We can see pain as an indicator in our lives, teaching us resilience and perseverance. Once again, to allow us to not lack the commitment, because it won't be the mistakes that cause us to fail. It'll be the lack of commitment, because once again, we need to teach our children the desire that they must be what they can be. They must be what they can be, or what they want, not what's missing, not what other people want for them. And if we can show and not only give the wisdom, but inspire them with the faith that there's something bigger than them, an omniscient and all-powerful source that will allow the omniscience of pain to indicate that we have a better place to be, a better position to be in, an omniscient, all-powerful source that loves us more than our mom, that creates an infinite, abundant, unified system of thought, where it just fuels the commitment of consistent, persistent behavior in a direction, a divine direction, that allows these detours as well to be divine in their nature, and most importantly, to provide the resilience and perseverance to allow for divine time to reveal the revelation of the truth, that we are protected, we are promoted, we are loved, and we are perfected by something bigger than us that loves us more than our mom. The fifth lesson, in order to drive the desire that we must be what we can be within our children, to teach them these lessons so that they do not lack the commitment in order to get to where they want to be or better, is meaningful connections. Relationship capital is the greatest capital that can be gained. My frequency is my neighborhood. My mission is to empower others to be happy by creating a community of people like here. With over 100,000 people registered today for training, utilize every single platform in order to facilitate this conversation of a meaningful connection, a connection of people, a neighborhood of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. In every idea, every action, intention, beyond just financial gain. Although if you have a neighborhood of people that want to help each other and know people that will help each other, we actually do create a community of people that buy from us and sell for us for life. And nothing will make you more financially successful. There is no other better, greater asset than the meaningful connection of relationship capital. Encourage your children to approach relationships openly, with the open mind, the open heart, and open hand, to recognize value in every interaction. Remember, value is only derived how? By giving people more of what they like and taking away some, if not all, of what they don't like. In other words, to establish a relationship that we know where people are at today and find out what they like and what they don't like, so we can ask them the question of meaningful connection, which is, would it help you if, or do you know anyone that could help me? You can ask and teach these questions of meaningful connection of, do you know anyone that could help me, and would it help you if? Because the fastest way to get to where you want to be or better is to help someone get to where they want to be, or have someone help you where you want to be. The athlete and coach mentorships, or teammates inspiring one another, is a classic example of the meaningful connections, once again, that creates the victory, not the victims. The victory of a neighborhood, a frequency of people that have meaningful connections, of wanting to help one another and know people that will help one another. We must teach these kids today, especially because of the remote nature of relationships today in front of TVs and devices, that we need to learn how to create meaningful connections in person, especially on the phone, via email and media. With all four of those, understanding relationship capital and the infinite loop of abundance, the infinite loop of love, of truth, these meaningful connections will also fuel the desire to what? Be what they must be, to start focusing in on those. The sixth lesson is the courage while experiencing the anxiety zone. You see, there's three zones, the three concentric circles, and I'm happy to send not only this exercise to everyone, but also the concentric circles of the comfort zone, the learning zone, and the anxiety zone. And if you'd like the exercise and guides and the diagram in order to facilitate how to live your life at ease, email me. I'll send it out for free. If you want my book, I'll package that in there too. Pay for shipping and the book. David@dmeltzer.com. But is the courage in the anxiety zone, the courage while the anxiety zone, the awareness while in the anxiety zone to step into that zone, but not linger there, to spend minutes and moments in anxiety, to step back into the lessons, the learning zone, because the only zone that expands is the learning zone. Comfort zone doesn't expand. The anxiety zone is constrictive in nature. If you live too long in the anxiety zone, which so many children and adults are doing, that pretty soon our anxiety zone becomes the size of our learning zone, and our learning zone now shrinks down into the size of our comfort zone, and so on and so forth, until you end up stuck in bed, not being able to get up, thinking about doing something harmful to yourself or others. We need to teach our children to have courage, to identify our reaction to fear, to stop, not try to go over it, under it, through it, around it, resist it, lie to it, cheat it, manipulate it, deny it, but no, instead supply it with the remembrance of who you walk with, the reminder of who you walk with, the recollection of who you walk with. And with this spirit and desire, we can have courage and only spend minutes and moments in the anxiety zone. Stop the separation of the need to be right and offended and separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, worried, etc. Growth happens outside of the comfort zone, but it must be balanced in harmony with a crucial understanding and identification of how we react to fear and encourage taking risks without sustaining the stress that so many of us do. To do our best, to learn lessons and have fun. The final lesson that we should teach our children in order to have the desire that we must be what we can be is the power of gratitude. We must remind, remember, and recollect. We must teach our children to say thank you before they go to bed and when they wake up. The fastest and easiest way to change our children's life, to fuel the desire that they must be what they can be, is to have them live in gratitude and practice gratitude. It takes 0.1 seconds to say thank you. It's free. And yet the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do. We must teach our children to focus in on finding the light, the love, and the lessons in everything, every situation, every person, to experience the abundant, infinite, unified system of thought in which they belong to. The saddest thing as I teach gratitude to adults and children is every single one of them will tell me that they can say thank you before they go to bed and when they wake up, no problem. Because it's free, it takes 0.1 seconds. And none of those people who make a commitment to say thank you every single day before they go to bed and when they wake up, not one of them doesn't believe that they can do it. But by tonight, out of all of those millions of people in the world that believe that the most impactful way to change your life is the power of gratitude, half of them won't say thank you by tonight. Another half of them won't say thank you by tomorrow morning. Within 3 days, almost all of us won't say thank you within 3 days. Even though we all believe it's the most impactful, easiest, simplest, inexpensive way to change your life, to impact your life, the greatest lesson that we can teach our children, gratitude, is so simple. It's simple not to do every single day. So we must practice. We must remind, remember, and recollect with our source in order to have the fortitude, the desire that we must be what we can be, to have the power of gratitude, teach the power of gratitude, and live the power of gratitude. Gratitude will shift the perspective, attracting more positive experiences. The unified belief that we are going to be better. But yet it's so difficult to do. In fact, it took me 9 months till I could say thank you every single day for 30 straight days. And if anybody would like a gratitude challenge, a practice guide of gratitude to remind, remember, and recollect with your source, something bigger than you in gratitude, once again, along with the comfort zone, along with the guides and my books, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. There's many lessons to teach our children, to carry on, to empower others, to be happy so that they live in abundance and make a lot of money help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. So they do their best, learn lessons and have fun. So they have a desire that they must be what they can be. We must teach them the power of silence. We must teach them the freedom from external validation. We must teach them to focus in on possibilities, probabilities, perspective, not problems. We must teach them about pain being an indicator of a better place to be, a better situation to be in, and that struggle is a choice. Pain is not a catalyst for growth. We must teach them about meaningful connections, about their frequency as their neighborhood, to understand the community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. We must teach them about the anxiety zone and spending minutes and moments there and striving as we learn in the learning zone and expanding the size of our learning zone into the size of our anxiety zone. And then finally, we must teach our children the power of gratitude, to find the light, the love, and the lessons. If we can teach these and other lessons to our children, as always, we will be better off. We will be better off tomorrow. My favorite day is tomorrow because it's better than today. And I continue to improve by learning lessons myself, by doing my best and having fun. And I suggest we all do the same. Let me hand it over to Nick to reset the room. This has been the Lessons to Teach Our Children training. Please, once again, reach out, david@dmeltzer.com, and I'm going to give it the wick of Nam. Nope, the Nick of Wam, the well-oiled machine. I've been speaking a lot the last 2 days, and I got one more in store, but here's the Nick of Wam.
Alrighty, everybody, that officially concludes the first half. We are into the third quarter, and you know what that means. It is Q&A time. So thank you, David, for guiding us through that first half and teaching us those lessons. But for everybody that's joining us online, if you have your question for David today, please make sure to put it in the chat. And of course, for everybody live here on Clubhouse, not only continue to invite anybody from your community that you know would benefit from this conversation or may have a question, but if you're on stage, please put a quick note in the chat that you have a question and I'll pass the mic over your way. Or of course, if you're in the audience, please make sure to use the hand icon at the lower right-hand corner of your screen to request to join the stage, and we will of course bring you up. Now, with that said, David, we have Colleen, who is ready to rock and roll with the first question of the day. So Colleen, happy Friday. Always great to see you here. Go ahead and unmute yourself and kick us off.
Happy Friday. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be kicking off the questions. Okay, so obviously I love this training as a new mom of a 16-month-old. And right now, as I transition out of real survival mode with a newborn into the toddler stage and really getting to a place where I'm like, okay, I need to understand my feelings in order to teach him about his feelings. So the question came up of how do you teach them how to think critically in order to make their own decisions without telling them what to do, because you want them to become their own person.
Well, that's formulated in the practices that I teach, which is one, when we can teach them to ask themselves, what do I want today? What do I want today according to the circumstances of today, in a divine direction of where I think I want to be or better, and then to teach them to seek the wisdom and the faith in order to get there, to seek these lessons themselves, to be inspired, to have the desire that they must be what they can be. And the first step is to teach our children to ask themselves what it is that I want today personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise, in that divine direction of where I think I want to be or better, according to the reality of today. Too many people blow smoke up their kids' ass without taking into consideration what the actual circumstances of the day are. And by putting it into the framework and the context of reality, we can utilize divine time and divine direction to help pain be that indicator, but within the context of the patience that's necessary, because the speed of progress is still going to be not fast enough. And if we can manage the expectations of not only what it is that they want, but who they can help and who can help them, especially at a young age, seeking the help and the wisdom and the faith in order to facilitate what to do today to be productive, accessible, and gracious, to learn those lessons, to do their best and have fun. Because What you're really talking about in the critical analysis that's necessary to empower our children with is their ability to prioritize. Notating again that prioritization is the antidote to procrastination and feeling overwhelmed, two of the kid killers out there that nobody's talking about, two of the greatest interferences of our future generation and our future itself. Understanding that if we can teach our kids to prioritize within the context of where they want to be or better and the circumstances of the day by seeking the meaning, the wisdom, and the faith in the past and towards the future, that they will create greater progress. They will have better behaviors. And it is the behaviors that aggregate into self. It is the behaviors that aggregate into progress. And good behavior is only defined as behavior that gets them in a direction towards where they want to be or better. Bad behavior is defined same as an individual, customized, personalized way to interfere with where they want to be or better. Your good behavior may be my bad behavior, and my bad behavior may be your good behavior, because we have different divine directions, we have different divine detours, and we have different divine times according to where we want to be or better and the circumstances of the day. And we can facilitate it with acceleration, aggregation, and compound the outcomes by simply seeking the wisdom and having the faith to shorten the distance of resistance between us and what already exists in an infinite, abundant, unified system that we all belong to, an omniscient and all-powerful source that's protecting, promoting, loving, and perfecting us. And so if we can teach our children bite-sized lessons in order to facilitate the ability and capability to prioritize what's important to them, not what's important to other people, what's missing and what they don't have, they will have a desire that they must be what they can be. They will be able to use pain as an indicator and spend minutes and moments in the struggle. They will be able to utilize divine time and divine direction in order to establish where they want to be or better and get there faster. And it is your job to create questions and suggestions in order to help them practice knowing their what, knowing their who, knowing their how, and knowing their now, so that they can apply their why that is fueled by the wisdom and the faith that you have taught them to seek, establishing that desire that they must be what they can be, knowing that it won't be the mistakes that they made that stop them. It'll be the lack of commitment, the lack of the application of why, the lack of wisdom, and the lack of faith that will shorten that distance of resistance that most children have in applying their why. Not the easiest job in the world, but definitely the most purposeful and passionate and fulfilling thing to empower others, especially our own children. So enjoy that journey. I've been experiencing it 4 different ways with 4 different children of my own, and I'm sure those out there have experienced the same. All right, Nick of WOM, the Well-Oiled Machine, set the room back up or ask another question.
Absolutely. And just as a reminder for everybody that's joining us today, this is the Lessons You Should Teach Your Children training. We are almost knocking on the door of what is the 4th quarter here. So, of course, you know what that means. It is continuous Q&A. You guys bring the questions. David will bring the answers. And as a reminder, if you want the guide from today's training, all you need to do is reach out to David directly, david@dmeltzer.com. And, of course, if you don't already have a copy of his book, which he's more than happy to send a copy, sign a copy, and even pay for shipping, make sure to include your information so we can get one shipped out to you ASAP. Now, with that said, David, we're going to keep it live here on Clubhouse with the next question. We have a good friend, Mr. Joseph Storzinger, who should be joining us next week in New York City, who's been patiently waiting. So, Joseph, it's great to see you here. Happy Friday, my friend. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask David your question. Welcome.
Thank you, Nick. Congratulations to Colleen. That is amazing. Double diaper duty, I think, over there. Sounds like to me. Dave, thank you so much. Always appreciate everything you've done for me. And just so happy to see this new news with Napoleon Hill Institute, everything that's going on there. And just wanted to know if I could get like a couple minutes, maybe in the next week or or so just to talk to you more about, what's going on at Napoleon Hill and how I can be of service and be part of that.
Absolutely. Why don't you just give me a call this weekend? Actually, today's a little bit of a shit show, but I'll have some free time over the weekend and always provide the opportunity for anyone. I give 5-minute overview calls to have a concise conversation as stated in these lessons to see how we can help one another and know people that can help one another. And yes, I'm blessed to be appointed the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute, and we will be revitalizing, amplifying, perpetuating all the great works of Napoleon Hill, not just Think and Grow Rich, not just Outwitting the Devil, but the 80% of the content that you've never seen before that deals with the corporate side of things and creating a corporate culture and modular operations manuals and sales tools and so many other things. And being able to facilitate and to lead and to grow Napoleon Hill, the mindset, heart set, and handset that has impacted so many of us, and to be able to utilize it as lessons for our children and to facilitate a perpetuation of content that is over 100 years old, but more relevant today than it was in 1937. Being able to establish the idea of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe in alignment with where we want to be or better, because it is and will always be our imagination that limits ourselves, meaning that we will never overachieve our own imagination. We will never overachieve our own self-image. And it is a mission of mine, not only to empower others to be happy, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun, but to expand our imaginations, to expand our self-image, because we never will overachieve that self-image. And it is the meaning that we give the pain, setbacks, failures, mistakes in our lives. It's the meaning that we give it that will limit as well that divine direction, that will determine the meaning of the detours as divine or as punishment, and to allow the patience of divine time to reveal what we don't know or understand, which is the outcomes of today, because it's impossible for the human being to understand the outcomes today of how it's relevant of the revelation in the future. And is that wisdom of Napoleon Hill and distributed through the Napoleon Hill Institute, and the faith that it gives us, the desire that we must be what we can be in order to facilitate the commitment that will determine our future. And Joseph, I appreciate the compliment, especially, but it is your action. I may have planted a seed, but it's your action that has created your success. And it will be the same with the Napoleon Hill Institute. And I have found the calling and now the road of Napoleon Hill and Napoleon Hill Institute in order to facilitate. So if anyone wants to support us in our neighborhood, please reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. Happy to spend some time figuring out how you can join our community, our neighborhood of Napoleon Hill. Read Think and Grow Rich, read Outwitting the Devil, listen to it, study it. I still do as well. Thank you, Joseph, for offering your support and having the desire that you must be what you can be. All right, Nick, we are actually in the fourth quarter. Thank you, brother. Hold up the 4 fingers. We got it here. We're the fourth quarter. We love it. It is our Friday training. We've been doing it for over 25 years. So every single week, sometimes not on Friday, but most of the time on Friday. We call it the Free Friday training, even when it's on Thursday. But come, and if you want to invite your friends, please do so. We're on every single platform, and we appreciate everyone's participation. All right, Nick Awam, it's the fourth quarter. It's all yours.
Beautiful. Let's keep this train rocking and rolling with some more Q&A. My goodness gracious, David, we are blessed every time she jumps up on stage on Clubhouse, and you see just nothing but an abundant smile, brings a smile to my face as well. You know, we are talking about you, Robin. It's great to see you. Happy Friday. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. Welcome.
Thank you, Nick. Good morning, David. I'm definitely shining that big smile.
Thank you.
So my question is not specific to having kids, because I do not have kids of my own yet, but this might help somebody somewhere. So I've been focusing a lot on setting intention to future plans, and with dissecting those plans and being open-minded to the intention and having a lot of clear, concise energy behind those thoughts. Is there anything else I can be doing to help with my intention on future plans that I really want to drive and be achieving relatively soon?
Well, first of all, let's take time out of the equation because we have no control over time. Everything will happen in the right way at the perfect time. But we do have control, as you say, over our intention and the mathematical equation of coincidences, consequences, outcomes, and results. A mathematical equation is first, pay attention to what you want, not what other people want, what's missing, what you don't have. Pay attention to each and every day, according to the circumstances of the day, what you want. Then give meaning to it, aligned with the divine direction of where you want to be or better. And if we pay attention to and then give intention to, and also expand your idea of intention, it's not just what you do, it's what you say, what you think, what you feel, and what you believe, and make it aligned and double check and stop, drop, and roll when you're out of alignment, whether you're doing something not aligned, saying something not aligned, thinking something not aligned, believing or feeling it not alignment. Don't try to resist it, go over it, under it, through it, around it, lie to it, cheat it, manipulate it, deny it. Just stop. Breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in all the possibilities, probabilities. Breathe in the meaning and the perspective, and blow out the candles of doubt. Breathe in and out and get to ease, to center, and then roll into the direction, the divine direction, to allow the detours to only be minutes and moments, and allow divine time to reveal itself. The key to intention is, one, to stay focused in on what you want, but also to understand the 5 levels of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing. And when out of or interfering with or accelerating away from where you want to be or better, stop, drop, and roll. Remember, when your mind, body, and soul are on fire, it'll indicate you are not moving towards the consequences, coincidences, and results that you want. And when you're on fire, whether it be your mind, body, or soul, you got to stop, drop, and roll. Great question, Robin. So many of us have a misunderstanding of intention and attention, and we're not getting the coincidences, the coinciding of the universe with our human experience that we desire. We're not living in divinity, in divine direction. The detours are punishment, not protection, promotion, love, and perfection. And we are not allowing for the revelation of divine time to teach us through wisdom and faith what's better for us or the best situation to be in. All right, that's an awesome question. Nick of Guam, let's keep on going. I got questions online. Thank you, Robin.
All righty, we are going to do one more here live on Clubhouse, and then we'll go online for the next question. E-Man, who has been patiently waiting, it's always great to see you here. Thank you for showing up each and every Friday. Pleasure to always have you here, and feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much, David. It was amazing Friday as ever. I actually have a question regarding to the gratitude. And I believe that, I'm not sure actually, David, and my question is, should we teach our kids the 5 lessons gradually, or altogether, like, and because here's what I think. It's about, like, gratitude is about understanding the lessons and the love and life in each situation out there. Maybe it's obvious for us as adults, but for them as kids or as teenagers, maybe they don't see what is good in this as a divine detour. So the fact that we ask them to be grateful for whatever it is happening there doesn't seem very attractive to them, because I told you before, I have a teenager who's 16. So sometimes he's very logical. Like, it's just the logic and not nothing else. So the question is, should I teach him to see what's good in every situation first, and then to be grateful for it, because consistency requires understanding and persuasion, to believe in the thing that I'm asking him to do or showing him because I believe that I have to be the model, the role model for what I teach. So
Correct.
I
Okay.
think about that.
Yeah. So first of all, kids don't listen to you, especially teenagers. And so if your desire is to have your children listen to you, especially a teenager, you're on a very resistant type of mission. But kids watch us. And so your first and primary way of teaching your child is how you react to fear, how you utilize gratitude. And reflecting upon that, you will be beyond being annoying, because one of the other things about parenting is, one, you need to be that example. You need to live what you say. It's not what you say, it's what they see, and they are watching you. But two, we need to establish and be annoying as parents and as bosses as well. What does that mean? That the way children learn and the way that employees learn is by you being annoying. You need to be repetitive because they're not listening, and you need to tell the truth, and you need to be honest with your children. And so for me, I walk the way that I want my children to walk. I talk the way I want my children to talk. I wake up at 4 a.m. I do my best to spend minutes and moments out of the truth. I do my best. I learn lessons and I have fun. I say thank you. I live in forgiveness, accountability, effective communication, and gratitude and forgiveness. I live that way the majority of my time. And if I'm not in that space, I spend minutes and moments there, and I forgive myself, and I forgive my children to do the same. But number one, they're watching you. That's the number one thing that you can do. And two, you need to be annoying. You need to be repetitive and honest. And those three things will be the best way to allow them to start asking the questions and following the suggestions on how to be grateful, forgiving, accountable, and effectively communicate. 4 things that are very difficult to teach teenagers, especially. Great questions today. Great examples. Nick of Guam, as I'm dropping my mic. Where should I go next? Should I go ahead? We have a guest, or go online?
Let's go online.
Go online. All right. Do you think we change our reality by giving our pain a new meaning? So pain is, like I said, omnipresent, and how we react to pain is the meaning that we give it. And so we absolutely, in my opinion, change our perspective by changing the meaning of our pain to indicate a better place to be. And so we have to know, though, that it takes time for that meaning to expand into a perspective or a reality. And so at first, when I lost everything, most of you know I lost over $100 million, went bankrupt, and there was great pain. And I started the practice of changing the meaning as quickly as I could of that pain, that setback, that failure, that mistake, that defining moment, that historical relevance in my life. And I gave it a meaning to protect me, promote me, love me, and perfect me. But I didn't have it immediately. And so I used time to see how quickly I could get back to the promotion, protection, perfection, and love, and get out of the punishment that I was feeling. And so the only quantitative measurement that I could use was, geez, I've been very victimized for 72 hours. It'll be really great if I could make it 71 hours and 59 minutes tomorrow, or whatever it may be. And so we absolutely can change our reality by giving our pain a new meaning, but we have to understand divine time to make the detour divine, and to do our best to practice the protection, the love, the perfection of the divine direction. And so if we practice changing the meaning by spending less time out of that meaning to take the victim and make it a victor, we have to establish man-made constructive time that it's going to take time. Because as we know, progress only has one time, not fast enough. That's part of the human experience. Progress does not happen at the speed in which we want it to happen. Progress has only one speed, not fast enough. And in order to have the commitment to the progress, we will succeed and progress if we have the what? Desire that we must be what we can be, which is the over intertwined truth of the lessons for our children training that we did today, which, by the way, I'm happy to send to everybody along with the comfort zone practice guide, along with the practice guides and the books and anything else that intrigued you today. I will send you the documentation. I'll pay for it, ship it, whatever you need. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. But you absolutely can change your reality. Remember, most people live in nothingness. You live like a tube, food in and food out. But in order to make your nothingness a possibility, you need to know what you want according to the circumstances of the day, the meaning or lessons of the past, and the divine direction to make the detours divine and allow for the divine time so that progress is at least occurring beyond the speed of not fast enough. That now becomes a possibility. If you want your possibilities to be a probability, then know your who you can help and who can help you, because the fastest way to get to where you want to be is to help someone get where they want to be, or ask someone to get you to where you want to be. My prayer every day is, may God put at least 10 people in front of me that I can help, and may God put at least 10 people in front of me that can help me. Now I have probability, a mathematical example. Then, knowing my how can I use the 24 hours that I'm guaranteed today to get me to where I want to be or better, according to the circumstances of the day, the meaning of the past, and the divine direction where I want to be or better. Knowing my how creates productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. And then I now have the perspective necessary to give the meaning I want to that pain, setback, failure, mistake. Creating a criteria of prioritization so that I know my now, knowing 100% of the things I do now get done. Din. Do it now, do it next. Creating an antidote to the procrastination and feeling of overwhelmed that everybody has, which allows me to conclude, which is the lesson to our children, to apply our why. That's right, to have the desire that you must be what you can be, which is the common denominator of all passionate, purposeful, and profitable people. The desire that you must be what you can be. Know your what? It'll be a possibility. Know your who? A probability. Know your how? It is your perspective. Know your now? It's your reality. Apply your why. You'll have the desire to live in the divine direction. All detours will be divine and live within the context of divine time, even though you're living a human experience in that divine time. God bless you all. It's 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. This has been the Friday training. I've been doing it for 25 years. Get your exercise guides and books for free. David@dmeltzer.com. Nick, close us out and let everybody know where to join us in Vegas, Orange County, New York, Turkey, wherever else we're going to be in the next 10 days.
I love it. Thank you so much, David, for an incredible training and power hour here today. And of course, for everybody online, we will see you next Friday, same place, same time, for another incredible training. And for everybody on Clubhouse, David will be back this upcoming Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, for a little bit of Ask Me Anything. And then, of course, next week, same time, same place, for another power hour on Clubhouse. And as a reminder, a few different things. Number one, if you want the guide from today's training, you know where to go, david@dmeltzer.com. If you would like to join us, whether it's Las Vegas next week on Tuesday and Wednesday for the conclusion of season 7 of the Office Hours Apple TV show, our VIP dinner, etc., you know where to go, david@dmeltzer.com. Next Friday in New York City for the UFC 309 Mastermind and VIP dinner. The following week, back in Orange County for the Thanksgiving Mastermind and VIP dinner before David goes over to Turkey to speak, and then back to celebrate and have some of that family time. And I know it's your favorite holiday, centered around gratitude for Thanksgiving. So we have an abundant schedule coming up, and we want to share that abundance with everybody in this community. Please, all you have to do, people, it takes probably half a second at best, reach out to David. David@dmeltzer.com, 949-298-2905 for the text community, so you get the reminders on where David's going to be. And of course, to close things out, with David's favorite quote, be more interested than interesting, and be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thanks so much, everyone.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. This has been the Friday training. Once again, come and join me. Thank you for the great questions. Thank you for your patience, your understanding. Have the desire that you must be what you can be. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Come and join me. As always, we're here every Friday. Get the replay if you missed part or pieces or want to share it with somebody else. david@dmeltzer.com. Remember, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Have a great weekend. Take care.